line. It's north of York, and this is it. Glaisdale is the kind of place that seems to belong to another era, when the pace of life was a little more relaxed, when entertainment was homespun. But the entertainment here, like the signal box, is manual only.
I started off in the London jazz clubs, where I worked with some of the name bands, Nat Ganella, Freddie Randall and Joe Loss. Of course, railways weren't my first love, although I have very fond memories of them as a boy. The steam trains going through Hadley Woods on the East Coast Main Line, and of course holidays on them, where you used to thank the driver at the end of the journey. Well, this line is about 150 years old, and like a lot of rural railways, its raison d'etre was as a carrier of the minerals which were mined here. Ironstone, which supported the an ironworks at Gromont and another one here at Glaisdale. So until really the end of the First World War, freight still played a great part in this line. With the coming of road transport, of course, the emphasis was less on freight and more on passengers. Fortunately, the thing that kept the line in business was the school children, because the line serves the Esk Valley. Every village is on the level of the river, and to get out to the main road you have to climb a fierce hill, which of course in winter can become impassable to the road traffic. Had it not been for that, I think Dr. Beeching would have closed the line in 1964, but fortunately that kept the skeleton of the line running, and we still run 7 trains each way every day over a period of 14 hours. As you can see, we're not overworked, but it's a very pleasant place to be. Of course, I'm not actually allowed to play a saxophone at all in the signal box, but it is my day off.
Further down the line, through the North York Moors, lies Battersby Junction. The sign is promising enough, but the look of the station building suggests the welcome may have worn a bit thin. However, the sight of Battersby early in the morning confirms that a lack of trains doesn't make it any less a pleasant place to work. Steam locomotives used to pass through here, carrying ironstone, coal and farm supplies, as well as many more people than are seen now. That water tank on the platform hasn't seen a steam engine in decades, but at least the goldfish are happy it's still there. The route running between Middlesbrough and Whitby provides a lifeline for the remoter communities in this area. It's only single track, so to avoid confusion, the drivers need a special token before they're allowed to proceed. Lever-framed boxes are a rarity on British Rail these days, the vast majority being power-operated, but a few still exist like these on branch lines. The signals are controlled by long stretches of wire, and it's quite a physical business, handling those long metal bars. But you don't have to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger to cope. A set sequence of signals between Battersby and the next box down the line confirms that trains have arrived and that a section of track is now clear to accept a further train. But what kind of traffic now keeps Battersby from disappearing from the map?
We get quite a lot of, well, certainly a lot of tourists going to work there, quite a lot of ramblers. It drops off quite a bit in the winter time. There used to be 4 of us, 4 signal women working on the branch line, and the drivers christened it the Petticoat line.
That may sound to some reason alone to keep Battersby going, but sadly the boxes both at Glaisdale and Battersby will be closed later this year to allow for a new driver-operated signal scheme.